The original run of Twin Peaks is something that feels entirely unique to me. Even decades later, after countless other shows have been influenced by or ripped off various elements of Twin Peaks, there's something there that nobody has recreated in quite the same way David Lynch and Mark Frost managed to in the early 90s. When I heard that Twin Peaks was returning, I was excited and intrigued, and a little worried. What would the return of Twin Peaks look like? Are the things that Lynch and Frost care about and want to continue on the same things the fans of the show care about? And as Twin Peaks: The Return unfolds, I think we can begin to answer that question. I'm Thomas Flight. Thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring this video. This video will contain images from all seasons of Twin Peaks, but I'll try to avoid major plot spoilers.
Oh, it fell down.
I find Twin Peaks a difficult show to talk about. It's hard for me to describe to people what it is I like about the show. But there's a word that seems to come up again and again. Weird. Twin Peaks is weird. I don't mean that in a negative sense. Much of Twin Peaks has a conventional facade laden with soap opera tropes and drama, but as it pulls you into what feels like normalcy, it uncovers its strange underbelly.
You know, there are plenty of other deaths in Twin Peaks.
Yes, but only one has a best friend with one arm. Harry? In the heat of the investigative pursuit, the shortest distance between 2 points is not necessarily a straight line.
Its weirdness catches you off guard. Part of what I think created the unique magic of the original seasons was David Lynch's weirdness, constrained by the necessity of creating a network TV show. Lynch's films are something amazing to experience, and I enjoy when a director has free reign over a project to do what they want, but sometimes something very interesting can come out of a situation that puts constraint on an artist.
It struck me again earlier this morning. There are two things that continue to trouble me, and I'm speaking now not only as an agent of the Bureau, but also as a human being.
The result is a well-made crime drama with a subtle foundation of Lynch's stylistic weirdness, while occasionally the full force of his brand of weird breaks through, creating what was the strangest show on TV at the time. This brings us back to Twin Peaks: The Return. As I watched the first several episodes of the new season, I often found myself wondering, what is Twin Peaks to David Lynch? In the new season, Lynch is unconstrained, and some of the vibe that constituted what I personally felt was Twin Peaks is lost. If the old show was 70% network TV and 30% full-blown Lynch, the new season was 30% my idea of Twin Peaks and 70% full-blown Lynch. And don't get me wrong, as a fan of what I'm calling here full-blown David Lynch, I was excited to be watching something that was different and experimental. I might have been missing a little of the campy soap opera vibe of the original seasons, but I was excited to be watching Lynch do his thing. Then I watched episode 8. I sat there, somewhat astounded that Showtime actually allowed David Lynch to air this on TV, and it hit me. This is Twin Peaks. David Lynch wasn't creating a new season that would give me more of the feelings I have watching a 25-year-old campy, quirky TV show. Whether it was his intention or not with the new season, he was creating a show that would give even seasoned viewers of modern TV the sort of experience people had watching the original Twin Peaks air. The original run of Twin Peaks was on after shows like Cheers, and viewers must have been struck by the unique strangeness. Some would have asked themselves, what the heck am I watching?
Brilliant! I have absolutely no idea what's going on.
But watching the original season of Twin Peaks now doesn't give you quite that experience that people probably had watching it in the 90s. You can still feel its weirdness years later, but now we're surrounded by so many other shows that have a similar level of weirdness in them that the original weirdness of Twin Peaks doesn't stand in as stark contrast to everything around it. But Twin Peaks is, once again with its return, decades later, probably the strangest thing to ever air on TV. David Lynch continues to push the boundaries, to tell stories how he wants to tell them, not how they should be told. I don't want to be reductive. I'm not saying Twin Peaks is only weird or that it only pushes boundaries, but the weirdness of some of the scenes of the original series, like Cooper's dreams in the lodge, had always been a sort of sideshow for me to what I felt was truly Twin Peaks. But watching Twin Peaks: The Return, I think I've realized I was wrong, and that weirdness is fundamental to what makes Twin Peaks Twin Peaks. And I don't think Lynch is simply being weird for weirdness' sake either. In Twin Peaks, a significant theme is characters encountering things that are or appear otherworldly. An important aspect of telling a story about how people behave in the face of things they don't understand is creating at least some of those feelings within the audience.
Suddenly, it was 25 years later. I was old, sitting in a red room. There was a midget in a red suit and a beautiful woman. The little man told me that my favorite gum was coming back into style, and didn't his cousin look exactly like Laura Palmer, which she did.
What cousin?
The beautiful woman. She's filled with secrets. Sometimes her arms bend back. Where she's from, the birds sing a pretty song, and there's always music in the air. The midget did a dance, Laura kissed me, and she whispered the name of the killer in my ear.
Who was it?
I don't remember.
This will inevitably turn some people away. I'm sure there may have been a drop in viewership of the new season after episode 8, just as viewership of the original seasons trailed off. But if Twin Peaks was more accessible, it may arguably not be the same Twin Peaks. And as I go back over the episodes of the new season, I'm seeing that many of the ingredients that made up the original Twin Peaks are present. Even if a lot of the plot takes place away from the beloved little town, you can see almost every element of what would make up Twin Peaks: The Return watching the original seasons. Twin Peaks: The Return is a genre-defying show that plays the spectrum from goofy humor to genuine psychological horror, and it expands on the world of Twin Peaks in unpredictable and fascinating ways. The original Twin Peaks was a singular, imperfect, interesting, and influential creation, and I firmly believe that Twin Peaks: The Return is as well. Thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring this video. When I started out making websites, there were 5 or more skills that you had to learn and many tools you had to use just to get up and running. Now, if somebody wants a website, I just recommend Squarespace to them. Squarespace is an all-in-one platform, so you have everything you need to have a website, including a domain name, right there. You just pick one of the beautiful award-winning templates, customize it to your needs, and you're ready to go. So if you have an idea or a project that you want to get started on, get the ball rolling and make your next move with Squarespace. Start your free trial today at squarespace.com and enter offer code ThomasFlight to get 10% off your first purchase. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you're interested in helping support this channel, go check out my Patreon where you can find additional content. I'd like to especially thank Hans, who was my first Patreon supporter. This video felt less like a critical analysis and more like my personal thoughts and feelings on this show, so I'm curious to know what people thought about it in the comments, and I'll see you again next time.